Part 1. The Unexpected Interview. Emma adjusted her blouse in the elevator, her heart pounding as the floors ticked by. At 25, fresh out of grad school with a degree in business analytics, she was desperate for a job to launch her career. The ad for an executive assistant at Thorne Enterprises seemed like a stepping stone. Run by Alexander Thorne, the widowed billionaire CEO whose story of loss, his wife taken too soon, leaving him with 2 young children, had touched even her pragmatic heart. The doors opened to a sleek office, and there he was, tall, broad-shouldered, with piercing blue eyes that scanned her resume before locking onto hers. "Miss Hartley," he said, his voice deep and resonant, extending a hand that enveloped hers in firm warmth. A spark ignited at the touch, electric and lingering, making her breath catch. As they sat, his knee brushed hers under the desk, sending a flush creeping up her neck. He leaned in slightly, his cologne subtle, masculine, like aged wood and spice, wrapping around her like an unspoken embrace. "Tell me about your background," he began, his gaze intense, almost probing. Emma straightened, confidence surging. "I graduated top of my class from Wharton, specializing in data-driven strategy. I've interned at startups where I optimized operations, increasing efficiency by 30% through analytics models I built." Her voice was steady, ambitious spark in her eyes. Alexander nodded, impressed, but pressed on. "With credentials like that, why choose to be an executive assistant? It's essentially a secretary role." She met his eyes boldly, a hint of challenge in her smile. "It's not just secretarial. It's the gateway to understanding high-level decision-making. I want to learn from the best, like you, and climb from there. Ambition isn't about starting at the top. It's about mastering every step." His lips curved into a subtle smile, admiration flickering in his blue depths. As she spoke, his fingers tapped the desk near hers, close enough that she felt the heat radiating from him. Desire stirred faintly in her core, a slow warmth at his undivided attention. He shifted, their legs brushing again, accidental. The air thickened with tension, her pulse quickening as his eyes traced her face, lingering on her lips for a beat too long. Compassion softened his features when he mentioned his children briefly, but the attraction hummed beneath, teasing possibilities in the charged silence. "You're hired," he said finally, voice low and inviting. Yet the interview felt like just the beginning. Part 2. First day jitters. Emma's first day at Thorne Enterprises was a whirlwind of emails and schedules, but Alexander's presence loomed large. He called her into his office mid-morning, the door clicking shut behind her. "The kids have a school event tonight," he said, rubbing his temple wearily. "I need you to handle the logistics." His vulnerability peeked through the CEO facade. A single dad juggling empires and bedtime stories. Compassion swelled in her chest as she nodded, their fingers brushing over the planner. By afternoon, they were side by side reviewing reports. His arm grazed hers, and she felt the heat of his body, the subtle flex of muscle under his tailored shirt. Desire flickered in her veins, a slow burn that made her breath hitch. He caught her staring, a knowing smile tugging his lips. "You're a quick learner, Emma." The way he said her name, low and intimate, stirred something deep inside. She imagined his hands, strong yet gentle, guiding her through more than just work. The tension hummed between them, unspoken but palpable, as the day stretched into Evening Shadows. Part 3. The Family Dinner. A week in, Alexander invited Emma to dinner at his penthouse. Purely professional, he assured, to discuss a upcoming merger. But with his children, Lily and Max, aged 7 and 5, it felt anything but. The kids adored her instantly, pulling her into games, while Alexander watched from the kitchen, his eyes softening with gratitude. "You've been a lifesaver," he murmured, handing her a glass of wine. Their fingers lingered, a spark igniting that familiar ache. As the kids scampered off, they sat on the couch, documents forgotten. His thigh pressed against hers, the fabric of his pants whispering against her skirt. Compassion turned to attraction as he shared stories of loss, his voice raw. Emma reached out, her hand on his arm, feeling the warmth seep through. He turned, gaze locking with hers, arousal evident in the dilation of his pupils. Desire coiled tight in her core, teasing the boundaries of what could be. "Emma," he breathed, leaning closer, the air charged with promise. She pulled back just enough, savoring the tension, her body alive with want. Part 4. Late Night Confessions. The merger prep ran late, the office empty except for them. Alexander loosened his tie, revealing a hint of chest that made Emma's pulse race. "You don't have to stay," he said, but his eyes begged otherwise. She shook her head, drawn by the magnetic pull. As they pored over files, his hand covered hers to point something out, deliberate, lingering. Heat bloomed where they touched, arousal thrumming through her like a secret melody. He stood, pacing, then stopped behind her chair. His hands rested on her shoulders, thumbs circling gently, easing the knots of the day. Compassion laced his touch, but desire flared hotter. "You're more than an assistant," he whispered, breath warm on her neck. She tilted her head, exposing skin, inviting more. The tension built, a delicious ache that left her breathless. Attraction wove through every glance, every accidental brush. He pulled away reluctantly, but the promise hung in the air. Widower and job seeker, worlds apart, yet inching closer. Emma left that night with her heart and body yearning for the next chapter. Part 5. The Breaking Point. Weeks blurred into stolen moments. A shared coffee where his knee nudged hers under the table, sending shivers up her spine. A late call where his voice, husky with fatigue, stirred forbidden fantasies. The children bridged them, Emma helping with homework, Alexander watching with eyes full of quiet longing. Compassion deepened their bond, but the attraction was undeniable, a constant undercurrent of desire. One stormy evening, stranded at the office, he offered his jacket. As she slipped it on, his scent enveloped her, arousal pooling low in her belly. He stepped close, hands on her arms, gaze intense. "Emma, the words hung, teasing the edge of confession. She felt his heartbeat through the fabric, fast like hers. Sexual tension crackled, bodies inches apart, breaths mingling. Desire urged her forward, but she held back, savoring the sweet torment. He was a father first, a CEO second. But to her, he was the man who awakened every sense. As thunder rolled, she wondered how long they could dance on this precipice before falling.